Hi, welcome back. And I realised that I've been away for quite a few months, and there have been some comments just checking to make sure that I'm okay. And as you can see, I am here. I am okay. Which begs the question, where on earth have I been? Well, I have basically had to set up a new business. Not the photography side of things, that's still carrying on as my second job, even though I wish it could be my main job. But back at the beginning of the year, I got made redundant from my day job and basically ended up setting myself up as a self-employed individual. So I'm now running two businesses, which takes a bit of time to get things going, but we're over 6 months in now and things are going well. The good news, that is the good news. The interesting thing is my new day job is as a self-employed training consultant within the motor industry. It's where an awful lot of my background is. And this takes me all around the UK, which is absolutely brilliant because I've got to experience some new places to shoot that I wouldn't have been able to easily with my old job, and things are now settling down to the point that I think I've got time to start making some more videos again. So my apologies for my absence over the last few months. So yeah, business as usual with the channel going forward. I'm going to try and put out a couple of videos a month, more if I can, but we'll see how things go. And I do have some plans, so it's good to be back. Now, what I thought I'd do, rather than just a quick channel update and leave it at that, is share with you some of my favourite images month by month in the time that I have kind of been absent from putting videos together. So, just to kick things off, we're going to start with the month of June, which coincides with basically after the last video I put out. And you are not going to see me much from now on. You're going to be looking at the shots instead, which will be much more interesting, I promise you. So we're going to start off with June, and I was fortunate enough to be commissioned to shoot the 150th anniversary dinner of the Nottinghamshire Law Society, or Legal Society, I can't remember which one it is, and they had a load of guests over from cities they are twinned with. And this shot is an informal portrait I took whilst we were out, or rather I was following them around and they were out having a meal. And this is a shot I grabbed of one of the lawyers, and I just really liked the way it turned out, particularly as it was an informal portrait, so nothing really formal going on with this one. The next shot from June is this one, and this shot actually means quite a lot to me. Now, it was taken from the Swindon Art Fringe 2025, which I was fortunate enough to once again exhibit a couple of my works in. But this particular shot is of an artist who created and sold their work under the name of Place and Chips. Real name was Geraldine, and I grabbed this shot of her and her exhibition, which was around the Cockney Dysphoria in Swindon on the opening day. And the reason this shot means a lot to me is, unfortunately, a few days after this shot was taken, Geraldine passed away. So this shoot I was doing at the opening of the exhibition, and this and a few other shots I got of Geraldine and her work were unfortunately literally some of the last images that were taken of her. And in this, she's basically modelling a jacket she put together that people could contribute to as the exhibition went on. Okay, moving into July, and it was back with some band photography. And this was a band called Better Heaven, a local-based band. They are starting to play the festival circuit, and I shot this image during a performance at the Tuppenny. And the guitarist actually just wandered out into the crowd, which is quite unusual in a small pub venue. And I managed to get this shot from behind him with a couple of members of the audience. And I just really like the interaction between the audience member and the guitarist in this shot. I think it works very well. And moving on, this was taken at a Lotus dealership, so this is where my new main job or day job helps come in handy. So this is a Lotus Emea, and sorry, I forgot to put notifications on silent on my phone if you heard that bling bling bling, so we may get a few of them. Apologies for that. So this was a shot of a Lotus, and just really like the bold, vibrant colours on this and the way it frames up with the darker lower half of the car and the tarmac underneath it. And also managed to attend a truck festival back in July. Now, I didn't go along as a photographer, so I just had to take my little Canon G15 with me because that met the rules around what you could take in camera wise. But I was quite surprised with what I managed to get done just with the little G15, and this was one of the images that I managed to capture during one of the sets, and just the audience members silhouetted or partially silhouetted with the festival crowd in front of them and the stage behind them. I just really like the way it came together. The colours, the lighting in it just worked for me. Also in July, a good friend of mine, a gent by the name of Daniel Steinhardt, or Dan Steinhardt. Now, any musicians who are watching this may recognise Dan, although probably not in all honesty from this shot, but Dan Steinhardt runs a very popular YouTube channel called That Pedal Show, which does nothing but look at guitar pedals and talks about them in, and Dan won't mind me saying this, absurdly nerdy levels of detail. This is his band he's in, the Danalogs, and I was fortunate enough to be asked by Dan to go along and shoot them at a local venue. And again, I like the colour combinations in this. You've almost got green on one half and then the stage lighting with the blue and the white over the other half, and it's almost like two shots in one here, and just works really well together and helps showcase Dan's excellent, and he genuinely is, excellent guitar playing in this. Moving on to another local musician, and we're into August now. A good friend of mine, Emma Dupay, is actually from Idaho in the US, but lives in Wiltshire now, in Swindon, and this was her performing in a local park during the summer. Really hot today, really direct, blinding sunlight in the early afternoon, and I again like this one in black and white, but the way that the sunlight's coming through her hat contraption, and the way we get the shadows on her face off of that, and it follows the contours of her face, again really like the way this image came together. Bit of a different one now, but and again another event I was commissioned to shoot, once again for a friend. This is Emily, and it was her 30th birthday at a local brewery and tap room, and I did a couple of quick portraits, full length in this case, for her, and asked her just to swivel around as she was shooting it so we could get some movement in her hair, and this one I think came out absolutely spot on. Late in the day, as the sun was coming down, with the sun behind her, which strictly speaking shouldn't be doing, but it rim lit her hair incredibly well in this one, so I liked how this came out. Followed by an emu. We went to a local butterfly sanctuary that has a load of other animals in it with the grandkids, and I just really loved the way this emu came out. He was a feisty, or could be she, I don't know. They were a feisty looking beast, and this one, again, the orange that's in the eye here is what appeals to me on this, just really pops and gives it a very, I hope, I imagine, maybe dinosaur type look to it, but there we go. Moving on to September, and this is from an event that used to happen quite a lot, and they happen all over the UK, and that's what's called Electronic Music Open Mic Nights. And this is where people who create electronic music using synths and all sorts of other instruments can just go to a local venue, bring their gear along. The venue provides the PA and the sound engineering. There are people there to help the musicians put stuff on and just play their creations. They used to run in Swindon up until about 18 months ago, and then they went on hiatus for a little while, and this one is from the first of the relaunched Swindon EMOMs, as they're called. And interestingly enough, I should be photographing the next one tomorrow night, as of when I'm recording this, so I hope to get this up today. So you should see some more shots from an EMOM coming soon. And still in September, we have a band called Rave Against the Regime. Now, they've been going for a good 8 or so years, but they've decided to call it a day. And this was their final ever gig at the Victoria, very good live music venue in Swindon. I know pretty much most of the people in this shot, and just really loved the way this captured Anisha's passion and getting the audience involved in this. And it really is a shame that this was their last ever gig. But if you want to see what it's like, if you Google them and have a look on Facebook in particular, you will find a full video of their last gig if you are interested. Keeping up with September, and this is from one of my favourite West Country bands, based out of Bath. It's a band called Reuben's Daughters, and I absolutely love the music they play and the kind of soundscapes that they put together. This was shot at the Castle, and it's almost completely in silhouette, but the way the lighting was coming, you pick up small details on the glasses, just the nose, and the way the instrument is, and that's then almost juxtapositioned by a large shadow forming on the wall and some images on the wall. Just really liked the way it came together, with almost the bass player behind and the guitarist in the main part stacked going into the shot. So actually one of my favourite shots I've done so far this year, that one. Sticking with September, still in the Castle, but this time a band called Sex Jazz. Some of you may have seen me wearing Sex Jazz t-shirts when I've been doing videos. Every single member of the band, good friend of mine, love them to pieces. This is Mark, who I have known for well over 30 years. Originally from the same town as me, we grew up together. He now lives in Berlin, but whenever he comes back over and they get an opportunity, Sex Jazz put on a gig. And I love this shot not just for the energy in it, but because it's really hard if you're shooting gigs, and anybody who's done it will know, to get good shots of drummers, and I managed to get a good shot of a drummer, so I'm quite pleased with the way that turned out. Moving on, and still sticking with September, another regular event that I like to try and get to but don't always manage to, and that is a local pub holds a bring your own vinyl night, where a friend of mine, Chris, and a few others, a gent by the name of Cello as well, they organise this. And people bring along vinyl, and Chris will help them learn how to DJ with vinyl. And I love these events because I get involved. I love vinyl, I've got a large amount of it, and I love sharing music with people. But I also love photographing turntables and vinyl when it's being played. And this shot for me really stood out. And you can even see, and I did clean it off after I took this shot when I noticed it, a little bit of fluff on the stylus there, which just shows off the resolution and the quality of images you can get even in low light environments in this day and age. So it's a shot I really, really like, this one. And then I think this is the final one for September. This is someone I know called Leah, who commissioned me to shoot her wedding celebration. I don't shoot weddings, but Leah asked me if I'd shoot a wedding meal with her family and just to get together with her family that they were holding a few days before their actual wedding. And I said, no problem at all. And this was Leah's favourite shot from the day, and being perfectly honest, it's actually my pick of the shots from the day as well. Just this log standing there, it was too much to miss to not put Leah on the log and shoot her with the tree bough coming down and the green and the browns contrasting against the, quite frankly, stunningly creative dress that she's wearing there. So moving into October, and this is the last month we're going through. Now, unfortunately, because I was away with my other job a lot during October, I didn't get an opportunity to shoot any music, which is absolutely gutting, and I am going to fix that for November. But we went out for a meal at a local restaurant. Now, they are actually a chain restaurant, but it's one where you can actually get to what's called a chef's table or a chef's bench, which overlooks the kitchen. And whenever I get a chance to do that, I absolutely have to take a camera along with me, because you can get some fantastic shots of chefs working and in action. And this is one I grabbed from that night, and I like the way you've got a bit of grain in there, they've got some movement going on in there, but it could still also be used. I mean, I wasn't shooting on behalf of the restaurant chain, but it could be used as a promo image, because, you know, you've got the branding there nice and clear and central. So I like doing this kind of thing just to practice my craft, being perfectly honest with you. This one, however, is very different and very unusual. I was at a car dealership and I just parked up, and as I got my laptop out of the bag, I turned around, and this basically was just the corrugated wall of the dealership outside. And just the way the light was hitting it and the bands of contrast you got on there, just it grabbed my attention immediately. So fortunately I was a few minutes early, I pulled the camera out, rattled off a few shots, and this is the one that really nailed it for me. I really like this particular shot. It's very simple, very clean, very abstract, but I still personally think there's a lot to look at and see in there. And then I think this might be the final one, but I'll double check in a moment. This is a shot taken in Romford, which is a suburb of London. As I was walking from the hotel I was stopping into the location I was working at. It's about 7:30 in the morning. Really bright, clear autumnal day, and as I walk past this tree, the light coming through the leaves on it and the autumnal colours, you know, you've got the green going through the oranges and the yellows into the reds and the rust colours on there, just again made me stop, made me look, and I had to grab this particular shot. And I think it's one that does sum up autumn in a city. Oh, no, there is one more. I do apologise. There might be another one after this even. I've lost count of how many I selected for this. Also in Romford, this was, as I was walking around, came across this utterly stunning late 1980s Lotus Esprit. I almost forgot the name of the model there. Just parked up, fortunately, on its own. So again, just grabbed a colour, a shot there. The colour and the vibrancy in this one's what pops for me, and really like the way it just frames the buildings around it. And this could almost have been taken back in the 80s when the car was new. There's not a great deal there to pull it into a more contemporary 21st century environment. And then the final one, this was actually taken at the dealership I was working at in Romford, which was a Honda car and bike showroom. These bikes were just lined up, and I noticed that you had this silver, blue and red bike there, and you could get some really nice leading lines going down in there. Managed to catch the Honda brand, not the full logo, but enough of it there, contrasting on the red there with the silver of the Honda fuel tank and fairing on the bike in the front. So that is a small selection of the work that I have shot over the intervening months while I have been absent. If you want to see all of the work that I've been doing over that period of time, either go to the website, you'll find most of it there, or follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and you'll find all of my work gets posted up there as well. What you'll also find is I do try and post as regularly as I can, and if you have enjoyed this video, you do want to see me continue with the channel, please do throw this video a like, and if you can subscribe to the channel as well, that would be absolutely superb. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all again soon. Take care. Bye.